Hi, I'm Mary from deanandmary.com, and what I want to talk to you about today is personal development. Some people call it mindset. It's very popular. It's a very popular concept in the home-based business profession, but I think that a lot of times you misunderstand what that really means, because you'll hear people going around saying, you need to focus on mindset, you need to concentrate on personal development, and sometimes that takes you away from the work, of building your business. And building a home-based business does take the work of, finding people to talk to, building content, creating value, putting stuff out into the marketplace, things like that. So what does personal development have to do with building your business? Now, for me, the idea of personal development doesn't just mean you need to read motivational, inspirational books. I love reading books that inspire me to think larger than just me, or larger than my little world that I have here. I love doing the personal development kind of activities that make me feel good about myself, that make me feel good about what I'm doing and the cause that I am. But that's not really going to change your business. It's not really going to turn it around. What I think of when I think of we need to work on our mindset, it's the stories that we tell ourselves. It's the little noise that goes on in the background, in the back of our heads. And most of the time it's subconscious, which means it's difficult to get at and to identify. But I want you to think about this. I've started doing a series of videos here lately that focuses more on the words that we use, the terminology that comes out of our mouth, the concepts that we speak about, because the way that we describe things, the way that we talk about things, is a direct reflection of the way that we've thought about them, because we have to have a thought about something before we can form the words to actually say it. And I'll give you an example. I just did a video. If you want to go find it here on my YouTube channel somewhere, you'll find it somewhere. It was about the concept of working full-time and how full-time is a job or an employee mentality. And it's a reflection of the idea that you think this is somehow equivalent, and it's not. It really is not. It's not even remotely the same. It is a different way of thinking about how to live your life. Another example that's very near and dear to me is that my children are educated, are self-educated. We educate at home. I do not send them to school. And the common word for that is homeschool. And I've always hated that term. And really I use it for lack of a better term to describe what we do. But again, the idea of homeschool implies that we're sitting here in the house doing all of the stuff that they do in school. And the reason my children aren't in school is because all that stuff is an utter and complete waste of time. It's just absolutely ludicrous the way that children are educated these days, basically for an industrial society when we're living in the information age. But I don't want to get too much into that, although I'd love to hear your opinions on that. It is a hugely important topic to me. But it's the same idea. We're not doing school at home. We're not in a job in our house. It's not the same thing. If you want to be a successful home business owner, a successful entrepreneur, if you want to have the freedom to do all of that, you've got to think differently. You've got to stop thinking like a public school student. You've got to stop thinking like an employee in a job. The concepts don't translate very well, and that really is at the heart of why so many people struggle in this profession, because you're trying to stick a square peg into a round hole, as the saying goes, and it's very frustrating, which is why you come back with words like I'm overwhelmed, or I'm lost, or I'm stuck, and all those kind of things. It's because it really is a language barrier. There's a language barrier that's going on, and we need to focus more time into working on our language, the words that we use to describe what it is that we're doing. And a lot of you are going to look at this and think, oh, that's just fluff and a waste of time. Just show me how to generate leads. Well, there's tons of stuff that I have right here on my YouTube channel, my blog, wherever you're watching this video from, about how to get leads from your business. But I promise across my heart that if you don't get this important fundamental stuff about how you're thinking about your business and what you're here to do, at the very least, it's going to be really difficult, because you're always going to be trying to unnaturally force something into an environment where it just doesn't fit. So I'd encourage you to take the time to take a step back and and just work on your vocabulary, the words that you use, and what they say and what they really mean. I think I'm going to continue pursuing this topic on a subsequent series of videos. I don't know if anybody's going to like them or want to watch them or not, but this is my message to the home-based business profession and to people who dream and who aspire to being able to work for themselves, is that anybody can do it, but you've got to do the right things in order to make that happen. And it absolutely does start up here, not just with the way you think about things, which has always been kind of vague and hard for me to understand. And when I really started to get this was when I realized that the words that I'm using to describe what's going on are misinterpreted, they're misunderstood. They're not the right words to describe what we're doing. We've got to change the conversation that we're having if we really want to make a difference in the world as far as bringing more people into this profession to discover what we're trying to achieve here, which is, just living life on our own terms and doing the things that we want to do. It's not big and fancy. It's not nearly as complicated as we make it, but it is a little painful to go through the process of getting our minds around a new concept. It's like my 2-year-old daughter knows how to do all kinds of stuff on my smartphone. She just seems to intuitively get it. And that's because her mind is completely open to whatever it is. She doesn't have anything in there already, that's confusing her. Like, to me, a phone is something you pick up and you dial numbers and you talk to somebody. To her, a phone is something she plays games on, she takes pictures on, she sends voice messages to her dad on. She does all kinds of things on a phone. So she's not limited by the old vernacular, if you will. She's completely open to it. We have to be like that much more if we really want this experience, not just to be successful financially, but to give us all the satisfaction and the fun and the fulfillment and the joy and the true freedom that you're looking for out of this. So that's not easy when you're learning something new. It's actually easier to learn something brand new from scratch than it is to replace something that we thought was the case with a new way of thinking about things. It almost gives you a headache to think about it, but it's super important and it's totally worth it. So let's continue this conversation about what words mean and how we need to be more aware of how we're talking about things and kind of make ourselves think a little bit more about what it is that we're talking about and what we truly want to do. I hope this has been helpful. I know it's more of a philosophical idea than it is a practical, down-to-earth, click here to make this thing happen kind of video, and I know it went a little bit long, but when we're talking about thoughts and ideas and concepts, we need to dig a little bit deeper into them. So I appreciate you watching this video. There's a link somewhere around this video. I always put a link somewhere where you can get back with me. Send me an email or post me a comment. Let me know what you think. Click on that. Go ahead and get on my email list. You can send a blank email if you want to Mary Black@aweber.com. You'll start getting this stuff from me, on a regular basis. Get back with me and let me know what you think. Thanks for listening. I will see you on the next video.